Hey guys, it's Oakley Ramos here with our sports broadcasting podcast. Today we have three lovely guests that will be joining me: Baylee Walker, Ian Kingsbury, and Jameela Horton. Thank you for taking the time to join me today.
Thank you for
Hey.
having us.
Thank you.
So, how long have all of you been on track?
How about you go first?
I've been doing track for 12 years, and I've been on this team for 4 years.
I started track kind of my freshman year, and so I've been doing it ever since. I'm a senior now, so about 4 years.
Why did you guys join track?
I joined track because I liked the program and how everything was being ran.
I was just trying to figure out a sport that I liked, and I saw pole vaulting. My dad did it in high school, and so I wanted to try it out myself, and it's now my favorite sport.
So, what's it like being on track?
You can
It's very fun. It's
Nyla Rama.
It's very fun. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of running. But the team culture is really good, and we have really good coaches.
Same thing like Ian said. It's a lot of running, a lot of hard work. The team is great. The coaches are great. Everything about this team is great. So.
Well, how tough have the practices been, especially in the weather?
They've been sometimes really tough to the point where it's hard to walk, and the next day you're just absolutely sore. But it's a good feeling to get done with a really hard workout because you know that you accomplished a lot.
The workouts are tough, but in order to be great, you do have to go through tough things. So.
What do you consider would be the most difficult thing about being on track?
I would say mindsets. Um, I don't. I think it's just like all up to how you think, and if you don't have a great mindset, then you're not gonna have a great meet or a great practice. So.
Yeah, just the mindset's one of the biggest things. Like, if you have a good mindset about stuff, stuff seems a lot easier. But your negative mindset, it will just make things seem ridiculously hard.
So, you guys feel like having a positive mindset makes it easier being on track?
Yes.
Definitely.
Within all of your guys' skill set, where do you think is the biggest area of growth over the years?
For me, it's just learning how capable I am of, moving my body as in the sport pole vault. Just being able to do movements that I've never really done, and just being able to pick them up quickly and learn.
I would say mindset again. I don't know. I do hurdles, so a lot of things are just like in my mind. And with hurdles, I just feel like you have to go. Like, don't let anything that you're thinking about distract you.
What would be your least favorite thing about being on track?
What if we? I don't have one.
I guess I could say the soreness. The soreness is what really sucks because then you have to go the next day and you're running and you have sore muscles and it just doesn't feel good. That's the one thing I can really complain about.
So, what would be some of your what would some of your responsibilities look like? And how do you collaborate with your peers?
For me, since I'm the senior, I am the one that leads the stretches and stuff, and I'm kind of like the leader. So it's important for me to. Wait, is it recording? Wait, was it recording?
It was recording. 1 second. So, continuing on the question, what would be some of your responsibilities, and how do you collaborate with your peers based on them?
For me, some of my responsibilities have been to lead the team and to do the stretches, and so it's important to be able to collaborate with your peers to get them all ready to go on time for practice, and just being able to help each other work through a hard workout and just being able to lead.
To connect with my peers, I kind of just try to talk about
talk to things about like anything going on like in the world or anything like that, to see if we have anything in common, just so like we can, find common ground, and we could just like talk, and then we all like become more comfortable around each other.
How have your team leaders helped keep everyone's spirits up? And if the team felt down after a relay race, how would you help them?
I'd like to answer this one. So I would like to bring up someone, Nayeli. She's very, very good at leading the group, but she also, like, if you feel like you can't do a certain run or something like that, like, she'll go out of her way to be like, oh, no, you can do it. And, like, it's not just, like, you. Like, she'll, like, tell everyone, like, we got this, guys. And she's, like, really, really, really motivating, but, like, it's, like, a constant thing. It's not just, like, a one-time. Like, she makes sure that, like, even if you don't feel like you can do it, like, she tells you, like, you can do it today.
So she's a good leader?
She's a really good leader, yeah.
What would be something you want to work on in track?
Like as a team or as an individual?
Both.
As a team, like just trying to get everyone together. Not a lot of people know like each other on the team, so I would say like just being a group, being a team. Individually, getting over the hurdle without a stutter step. Yeah, that'd be great if I could do that.
For me, as a team, I would like everyone to be able to come to practice with the serious mindset of being able to get practice done. Maybe not as messing around as much. We can still have some fun, but just like being more dedicated to our work and making coach proud. And then individually, for me, I've been really trying to work on improving my pole vault form and getting higher heights so that I can do better this season.
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys. I think as a team, to kind of like build up our camaraderie, because I feel like it could definitely get a lot better. And also for like everyone to make sure, like, obviously we're going to have fun together, learn more about each other, but to also have those like serious talks and like serious moments that we like need to have, rather than like always messing around all the time. And for myself, definitely to like work on my speed and endurance and just like my form in like all my events overall.
What would be your biggest challenge in track, and how have you overcome it?
Okay, I'll answer this one. Basically, like, this usually happens when you first start at track, but even like when you've done it for years, like, let's say like track might not be like number one, or maybe even is, and like going against other people that you might know that like they're definitely gonna like smoke you, but to have the mindset of like, no, I'm going to get better and they're going to get better and we're going to get better together. Yes, it's a competition, but also like first you want to be there for your peers, but you also have to realize yourself that like this is like also like a you kind of like sport, and like to not compare yourself and to like be like, okay, I'm going to work harder on this. And honestly, you can use that to motivate you too. Like maybe I'll get them next week.
Well, how have you guys adjust after COVID guidelines?
Well, I know like when COVID was first here, coach was really good at he like made a whole like spreadsheet, and he made like certain groups, and he made sure to put in like with people that you're doing certain events with. And he made sure like when we did warm-ups that we had like we spread out a certain, and like he made sure that we actually like followed the rules and everything like that. We had our mask on like when we weren't running, just stuff like that. And now like he makes sure that like when we're doing warm-ups to like do it not only efficiently, but like to give each other room. And that's something that we can also work on, because a lot of people don't exactly listen to that statement, to give each other room and like spread out, because it's not even just for it to be more efficient, but it's also for like COVID reasons.
Would you consider track and just practices in general more easier because COVID guidelines are less down?
No.
Track will never be easy.
It's actually
never
one of the
be easy.
things I had to do during COVID was I put a tarp on the pole pit, which when you got on the high jump
Attention
too,
Golden Valley.
you had to put a tarp on like the mat. So like if someone else went, you had to change out the tarp every time. So it's just more tedious process of doing stuff.
So it's difficult either way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it did teach us a lot of things. Like, I feel like track, I mean, obviously other sports too, but I feel like mainly track does this, really like helps you grow. Like what he said, like that's something like you got to follow the rules, and that teaches you like not only to follow rules, but it just makes you a little bit more disciplined, especially with the coaches we have. Like they really make sure that we're like disciplined kids because they know like further in life we're gonna have to be like very disciplined, respectful, and like learn how to talk to adults and stuff like that.
Well, how have you connected with your peers, and what has been the biggest struggle with them overall?
The biggest struggle is probably like getting them to like you. Not a lot of people are like comfortable with like talking and stuff, and like just trying to like come around more and try to like create a bond is probably like the biggest struggle.
You've been able to do that though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with her. I feel like at first it's really hard to kind of like come out your shell and like just talk to people that you never talked to before, or you might feel like they might judge you or something like that. But especially with sports like track, when you're doing like all these like workouts together, it's like hard not to kind of like come together because like you're going through pain together. You're gonna do like things that might not feel as flattering, and just like doing like warm-ups and stuff like that, not all of them might not look good, so like just like doing that together, it's very like good team bonding.
So have you felt like being on track and trying to connect with people have really put you out of your comfort zone?
Definitely a
Oh,
lot.
yeah.
What are you hoping for in the future regarding track?
More rings.
What?
More rings.
Oh, yeah.
Another CIF plaque, state champs, a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
League champs. Champs and rings.
Yeah, for me, it's to win league football. To get probably the school record would also be really cool. I mean, to get probably the CIF finals is probably where I really want to go. And if I can get the Masters, well, I think that'd be really cool for me.
What about after high school?
Me personally, what I learned most from track is kind of just like growing, and like I said multiple times, being more disciplined. Because I don't know if I'm gonna do track out of high school, but I know I'm gonna take a lot from it, and what I want to do out of high school, like track itself, is gonna help a lot because I have to be like have to act a certain way, and like just doing track, it taught me a lot of ways to just be more, what's the word I'm looking for? Professional, I guess, in like certain areas.
And for you guys, what are you planning for after high school with or without track?
So that kind of goes along with my plans right now. It's to break the school record and to kind of do all these accomplishments so that I can get into college to compete. I think that'd be really cool for me to be able to do that.
I would like to compete in college and possibly go to Olympics. And if that doesn't work, just probably, still like keep track in my life and become a pediatric nurse.
That's good.
So we say even if we're not doing track, we have to
Yeah.
Okay. Play, I guess. But my goal, I'm not planning on doing track after high school. I'm planning on going into like the film industry world. So, but I'm still definitely going to take everything I learned from track into that.
Okay, well, that's it for this episode on our Sports Broadcasting Podcast. I'm Oakley Ramos, and thank you all for watching this episode. And a special thanks to all of my amazing guests. Come back next time for another podcast episode. Also, make sure to check out all of our other sports broadcasting related videos and media.